Salve a tutti, qui Doc Basil e siamo tornati su Starfield. Ogni volta che saluto qualcuno mi parla sopra. Benissimo. Allora, io non ricordo come al solito una mazza. Oltretutto penso che dall'ultima missione siamo rimasti senza niente. Cioè nel senso mi mancano provviste. O sbaglio? Medikit. Non c'ho nulla. Quindi dovrei anche rifornirmi un poco. E mi pare che dovevamo concludere una missione. Vediamo un poco dove ci porta il segnalino. Che poi non mi ricordo se è una missione che devo concludere su qualche altro pianeta, magari. Fa vedere. Sì, è su Alfa Centauri devo andare. Ok, su. No, questo qua. Quartiere. Allora, dove devo andare? Ok, di là.
Captain, over here. The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it.
Ok.
Listen,
Questo che ho fatto sempre dei terrormorfi là.
About who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, my relationship with the UC, it's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon. One-time fleet, they called him Ve Victus. Woe to the defeated in old Earth.
Ok,
the program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most
va bene, pazzia come al solito.
Of the UC military for generations to come.
Ma infatti.
I'm getting there.
Fammi arrivare al punto.
I was cloned from, father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. Freestar Collective.
Ok.
And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned. I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here.
No, nessuna domanda.
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Hai visto? Dobbiamo andare. Andiamo a vedere. Che bello. Comunque con i nuovi aggiornamenti hanno fatto secondo me qualche miglioria anche dal punto di vista grafico. Sto vizio di uscire giochi incompleti e poi li migliorano.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing
Ok.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
E tu chi sei?
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor. That is something to consider. Though we also have to take into account the nature of the data you require.
Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon.
Ok.
They've been happening for generations.
E questo lo
To
sappiamo.
demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a
Ok,
bloodthirsty
sei ripartito bene, ma
warmonger
sei
and
un
her
coglione
associates.
anche tu, quindi.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium.
I would also ask how many deaths the Cabinet requires to act.
Dice proprio perché avviene da tanto tempo bisogna indagare meglio su sti cosi.
Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did the...
Just taking her word for it as well, then.
Sì, ti devi fidare.
So it would seem. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
Sì.
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
Well, I am not. I've heard nothing here to convince me that we should do anything but wait. And I will not risk galactic peace on a question of if.
Vabbè, tu sei la testa
A
dei
fair
cacchio.
assessment, Chief Diplomat. So then, while the data you two have presented is compelling, I think we can safely say it's insufficient for the level of action you've requested. Perhaps once we...
Che cazzo?
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's
Io non
happening?
c'ho cure, dove mi avvio?
There's been an attack at the spaceport.
Terror morphi.
Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God. There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
Ah,
There
mo
will
ti
be
stai a...
plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your
Che stai a
men
fa' sul
contain
temo?
the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support.
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Ok, fai da seguace, andiamo. Come non è accessibile? Questa di qua? Ok. Stavo sbagliando porta semplicemente. Ma non c'è tipo, che ne so, un negozietto qua dentro, mi posso fare un rifornimento, no, eh? Andiamo alla stazione, dai. Che succede là? Oh!
What are you doing? Stop fire, Captain! We're trying to help you!
Oh! Oh, sta ferma! Perché stanno a colpire a questi? Cioè, spero di aver fatto bene a... Questo troppo. Abbiamo fatto qualcosa, tranquillo. Ah no, quello è ancora vivo. Cirata. Che è successo?
Thank God you got here when you did. I just wish it hadn't come to that.
Yeah, what the hell happened back there, Captain? There's no excuse for using lethal force here.
Certo che c'era.
Or you could have used the EM gun like you were ordered. These are lives you're playing with here. So get your head in the game. Understand? Now.
Ah, io questa, io non solo ho salvato la gente.
Those people were acting. I've seen this before.
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming.
A gridare, ok.
We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew.
Pheromonic projection.
Cioè?
Some terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready. Well, you better keep that EM weapon loaded then.
Yeah, it's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
Ma qual è quest'arma che dice lei? Senti, uso la mia perché non conosco sta gente. Forse è questa? Sì, è proprio, peso troppo questo.
Too much matter and become over encumbered. It is. I will have.
Ti portavo qualcosa per me. Ah, tu pure sul ricaricatore vuoi portare.
Goodbye, Captain.
Ma che c'ho che pesa? Posso levarmi dalle scatole? C'ho qualche zaino. Sì, tipo questo qua che è sto zaino da rifornitore. La leva. Io c'ho questo. La leva questo. E leva pure questo. Allora, come ho detto l'arma. La M. Questo penso sia. Andiamo a vedere. Andiamo. Io potevo semplicemente sparare un po' di persone. E invece no. Potevamo aggiustare tutto con la sana violenza. E niente. Ah sì? Andiamo a vedere. Ah, c'è. Ma questo è lo spazioporto pro. Hanno messo una specie di cupola qua. Ok, non ci è voluto molto a buttarlo giù, dai.
Wait, officer? Are you and this woman...
How can I be of service?
Vasco,
Let me
levati.
know if I can be of assistance in the future.
We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We hold them as best we can.
Parla con la squadra d'assalto. Sono questi, ok.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word.
You two have any experience with terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here. But we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us. Roger that. We're on you.
Questi pure si fanno dominare e ci fregano. Porca miseria. Da questo. Ma che... Oh, punto abilità. Vediamo un po' che possiamo prendere. Distanza di gravi salti. Io stavo potenziando un po' l'astronave, però aspetta, c'era anche... tipo il peso. Adesso bisogna ascoltare un po' più di roba. Salviamo pure perché alla fine ci beccano e non è cosa. Andiamo a vedere il prossimo. Dove si trova? La mira è pessima. Porca miseria. Vai Vasco, vai. Tanca tutto.
All wrapped up. We should go tell the sergeant what happened.
Apriamo col sergente. Opla.
Thank the heavens you're back in one piece. Though I guess our people weren't so lucky.
few protecting the many.
And it would have been plenty more if it hadn't been for the two of you. The city owes you both a debt after this.
We were just in the right place at the right time.
Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Allora, dobbiamo andare quindi tornare indietro. Non è stato così difficile.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all clear signal before exiting your homes.
Pensavo peggio. Questa è la roba mia che ho buttato. Io ho parlato con questa.
That's a relief to hear. Captain? Hadrian? It would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
D'accordo, grazie.
I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, after today's events, the Cabinet has decided to revisit its previous decision. We will be supporting your collection of the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective
Ottimo.
immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the
Col collettivo c'ho buoni
wants you,
rapporti.
Captain, to be that representative. We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data.
Ancora non ho la cittadinanza qui.
Will you? I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colony.
Ok, possiamo andare.
Full backing to prevent more attacks.
I'm gonna go check in with Chief Engineer Kulkarni. Start getting a plan together for that data.
Parla con la vice, ok. Ma fa sempre parte di queste missioni? Sì, andiamo a vedere. Ah, c'è anche la missione sotto copertura, devo vedere. Andiamo a parlare con questa vice. Vediamo che mi dice.
Yes. Yes, sir. Consider it done. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar
Oh, dove vai?
I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre.
Comunque sì, hanno migliorato parecchio la grafica.
I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also told the President wants us to get you into the Armistice archives ASAP. So, we've got no time to waste. You know what the archives are, correct?
Io non lo so, quindi ho paura che tu mi fai... Ah, sono i devo di tutte le informazioni. Ok, già lo so.
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. but that's a lot easier said than done.
Allora, mi aspetterei che non vedano l'ora di aiutare dopo l'attacco spazio corto. Infatti,
I couldn't agree more. However, both
cosa?
ambassadors have reasons they won't or can't work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
Va bene.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats
Ah,
and
come
violence
minacce e
are
violenza
off the table
escluse.
here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative. But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who
Mi
do you
devo
want to
devo
start
studiare
with?
pure, quindi.
Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar or Ambassador Balmore of House Faroon?
Allora, iniziamo dal Freestar, perché io penso di avere un vantaggio.
The good
Cioè,
Ambassador
ho finito tutte le missioni del
She's a
collettivo.
veteran of the Colony War, and her only
O forse il
goal in life is
collettivo,
to make ours
cioè, non so se gli
visible.
sceriffi fanno, ma penso che
Now,
facciamo parte
officially,
del
our office
collettivo.
is suggesting you try and negotiate with
Vabbè,
her.
mo provo, vediamo cosa succede.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
Ma pure i tessuti
Think
della...
that'll work. Stranger things
So, di
have
supporti per leggere a lei.
But my suspicion is
I
we're
vestiti,
going to
i
have to
tessuti mi
rely
piacciono un
on
sacco.
other tools to get her code. Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze. UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage. But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding
No,
cell.
una missione stealth, sono pessimo.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen. Report suggests there's a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for intel. Maybe even convince to work with you. Name's Cameron Long.
Dammi il nome.
He's younger than Ratcliffe, bears less of a grudge towards the
Ok.
He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source for information.
Ok.
And someone who very likes.
Perfetto.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up.
Ok, fine. Ah no, devo parlare ancora con te.
Captain. Official line is that you're to negotiate with her. Use your charm and personal.
Ok.
My suggestion is to access the.
Ok.
She's also got a staff member that might be more.
Vabbè, ho capito. Poi neanche questo.
Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Faroon retreated into seclusion shortly after the
Balmore, sto qui.
he's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, though claiming to know how a member of House Faroon thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval. It does.
Qual è il problema?
We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually.
Bene.
His public appearances were always rare. But it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not. Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties on.
Lo troverò.
I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though,
Va bene.
and fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attack. Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for, I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is. Be smart out there, Captain.
Ok, quindi del collettivo freestyle, va bene. Ma devo andare, quindi vediamo un attimo. Ma quindi non ho capito se stanno qui dentro o se devo andare a trovare sui loro pianeti. Mi sembra di aver capito che stanno qui loro.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking.
No, questo è Sergente Yumi, un'altra cosa. Fatemi capire un attimo se è qui Sì, è qua, ok, a posto. Allora seguiamo semplicemente. Magari sono missioni in cui non mi serve per forza combattere, quindi posso tranquillamente parlare e risolverla pacificamente. Quindi mi evito di andare a fare i fornimenti di cure, ok. Buongiorno. Salve.
You are a visitor? You'll find the ambassador.
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby, offices, or conference room. That means you.
Posso riposare? Un'ora? Così mi curo. Aspetta, io devo trovare pure il suo... No, questo è il suo assistente là. Tu sei la guardia di prima.
As in more than one? All that security and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here?
Buongiorno, te ne
You're allowed
accorgi?
3 places. Conference room, lobby, or the ambassador's office. You set foot anywhere else, there's going to be problems.
Posso parlare direttamente con te?
That woman isn't... Oh, sorry. Oh, what? You know, I was about to board the NAP to the spaceport when the alarm triggered. And, like, I've got you to thank for things not being a lot ugly. Well, then you have my earnest thanks. But look, they said you were... The ambassador likes to handle all that, even if he does have trained diplomats here to... And I don't want to get shipped back to Aquila City, so... You... You were sent for me? Huh, maybe.
Invece di parlare con lei vado a parlare col signor Long, che ora si è bloccato a causa di questo tizio che... Oh no. No, Vasco, non sai scendere anche tu. Dai. Vi prego, signori, vi prego. Long, svegliati. Ok. Ce la puoi fare, ti prego. Bellissimo. Questa è stata pura poesia. E ci vede qualche medit per questo povero Cristo.
So you want me to work?
Però lei ha detto che non dobbiamo mentire né violenza, mi pare.
So, these mysterious... Okay, first you need her bio key, and that thing doesn't leave her side.
Ok.
The code machine. Only her quarters. And you, and the... Really? Okay, so there's a utility corridor that leads into the ambassador's quarters.
Mi sa che ho reso la cosa molto più difficile.
The main conference room. Here, the key. Whatever you do, don't let the guards see you enter. I'll keep an ear out for more.
Forse sti qua? Oh no, chissà che ho combinato. Se no possiamo provare a parlare pure con lei, magari ci riusciamo. Vediamo un po'. Vediamo se riusciamo a
You're the
convincere
one
lei.
McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said,
Sì.
"You have my thanks for what you did down there." Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice archives. Some of the most highly... I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero... I was afraid of it. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now. You're really gonna push this? All right, I will... I'm listening.
Ma posso fare prestazione automatica?
Londinian. They had to abandon the planet.
Ah, perché ce l'avevo completo
But that
forse.
couldn't happen again.
Ah, ok, quindi devo giocarmela ancora meglio. Ho 2 turni. E mi servono...
It's a job I take very seriously. It's why I'm even entertaining what you're suggesting right now.
Non ce la farò mai.
Oh, yes. This band research is precisely... Captain, I'm sorry, but my answer is not changing. The UC is just gonna...
Sta maledetta. Buongiorno. Vasco. Mannaggia.
Agent detected. Patching in playback.
Are you alright, Ambassador? It seems the Council of Governors has rejected my appeal to join. Again, which means you and I are stuck in this colonial rat cage until we die. But I think we might need to. We should expedite the process. What are you getting at now?
Ah, veloce.
My request to keep being rejected because they don't want to add a seat, right? But what if compromise this heart in what it used to be? It's not like anyone would miss him. Eva, I think it's time to get some sleep. Just think about it. Maybe we can reach out to some experts at that sort of thing, huh? Good night, Eva.
Via. Via. Non ho visto nessuno.
Did I not make myself abundantly clear, Cap? Excuse me? I have no idea what you're talking about. No. If the council found out, I'd lose my position. I'd be exiled. I'd be... Look,
Fregata.
I believe we may have gotten off on the wrong foot. The issue at hand is one of trust. So perhaps if I can trust you to keep this little secret between us, then maybe we can... Good. I appreciate you working with me. Just like I'm sure our great powers will.
Abbiamo un
In
accordo.
fact, I think there's an opportunity here. keep both our factions happy, and I can only let you get the information on the Terramorphs. Anything else and people will get suspicious. And all research will need to be monitored. Freestar scientific observers making sure everything's being used for the right purposes. But those 2 items should be enough to allay any suspicions.
Accetto questi temi, dai.
Good. Okay, let's go get...
Ok, datemi l'accetto a sti archivi. Perché mi avevo preso il... Ma che stanno a fa'? Ma chi ce l'hanno? Vabbè, ciao.
They tell me it should only take a moment.
Senti, io chiudo la porta che non ho capito che sta succedendo fuori. Penso si siano buggati e mi abbiano sgamato. Pasco, sentiti meno a sangue.
Code generators just this way.
Mannaggia Pasco, mannaggia. Che devo fare adesso? Non ho capito perché sto a pensare. Ok. Qui devo semplicemente uscirmene. Ciao. Nessuno mi ha visto? Ciao. Vediamo se riesco a fare anche questo come missione o se è troppo lunga mi fermo, se no. Vediamo un attimo. Non vorrei finire in uno scontro a fuoco. Ogni tanto qualche calo di frame. Non è qui? Ah sì, sì, qui. Altro dell'ambasciata. Questa è l'ambasciata, è un porcile. Difese. Secondo me la situazione sta per farsi calda. Oh, che paura. Avvicinati all'interfono. Ma che è? Porca miseria. Una specie... Ma che c'è? Una specie di gas allucinogeno. Che è sto coso? Ah, chi t'ha visto a te? Oh. Ah, ma voi siete tutti qua, va bene, ok. Si carica con calma, mi raccomando, Ma Vasco? Aia. Guarda che roba, in che modo uno deve giocare. Sta sto interfono del cacchio. Non si capisce niente, qua stanno le fuori. È finita di far bordello. Non si capisce nulla, ma che è qua? Livello medio. Io poi su questo sono pessimo. Infatti ci ho sbagliato. Vabbè. Girata. Ma come arrivo là? Allora, io non ci sto a capire niente, sto posto. Questo che... Vabbè. Forse sta sopra? Che brutta parte, devo essere sincero. Allora. Vai, facciamo questo. Devi. C'è la miseria. Indemoniati. Qualcos'altro. Qua non c'è un medit, una cosa. Salviamo finché siamo arrivati qui. Forse avrei dovuto fermarmi. Andiamo a vedere. E come si arriva al piano ai sotterranei? Scusatemi. Ma da qui si va? No. Come si arriva da uno? No, a me sta parte scassinare lo so poco fa sto gioco, mi incasina troppo. Cioè mi fa, anzi, oltretutto mi annoia. Cioè mi fa veramente annoiare. Che è del sushi? Sushi avariato? Una torta, che cavolo è? Mo, dove dobbiamo andare? Non qui. Dobbiamo scendere, penso. C'è un modo per scendere di qua? Di qui. Vai Vasco, dai qualcosa, pure tu. Aia. Uccidete. Ma dove sei? Vasco parla ma non c'è. Ah, c'ho i Traumapack però, non me lo ricordavo di avere tutti questi Traumapack. Buono allora. Ah, salve signore.
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss.
Vai, parliamo. Ah, ci va forza a spostare nel tuo ufficio distrutto per parlare. No, con calma, siediti, fai le tue cose.
Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. Tell me though, what is it like outside?
Forse sei più gentile tu.
So badly? Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the space.
Sì.
A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some an archive code. So the UC requires information. The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. But if I am to grant you
Quale richiesta?
for years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter.
Ok.
In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it. Well, then, please.
Dai, dammi i codici.
Let's hope it still works.
Giacca da lavoro, ah, come. C'è qualcosina di buono qua intorno?
There. Let it be used for good.
Perfetto. Torna alla vice degli affari stellari. Ma quasi quasi. Vediamo se posso farci un viaggetto rapido. A questo punto consegno pure i codici e la concludo sta missione. Non se ne parla più. Era un video lunghetto, però almeno abbiamo fatto un po' tutto qua. Ma in teoria le... cioè, non in teoria, nel senso che... che è sto calo di frame? Diciamo che bene o male le missioni di Starfield sempre una cinquantina di minuti durano, eh. Ho ottenuto una distorsione. Ma così, senza motivo. Gli affari interni. E diamo loro quel che serve.
Pardon.
Vai.
Captain, I just received a couple messages from an... Did you actually succeed?
No, ci sono entrambi.
That's incredible. I'm very much looking forward to getting the debrief on how precisely you managed...
Sì, infatti.
Regardless, superlative work. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitor.
Perfetto.
When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions.
Va bene.
Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. Absolute best behavior down there.
Fai rapporto agli archivi. Ma stanno qui sempre o devo arrivare proprio da un'altra parte? No, dovrei proprio da un'altra parte. Allora, io mi fermerei qui. Preferisco fermarmi qua e poi fare un altro video al riguardo. E niente, io spero che ovviamente i video escono sempre in modo diluiti, quindi non riuscite mai a stare dietro a quando io li giro e a quando io li pubblico, cioè le cose non combaceranno mai. E io attualmente ho finito Super Mario RPG. Nel momento in cui uscirà questo video Super Mario RPG è già finito di registrare, quindi io adesso mi concentrerò unicamente come serie sulla registrazione di Starfield. Come sempre vi invito a iscrivervi al canale e a commentare. Qui Doc Besi, ci vediamo alla prossima puntata di Starfield.